Did Jesus condemn wealth or attachment to it? If Jesus truly condemned wealth itself, Christianity would have collapsed in its first generation. Because from the very beginning, the movement depended on wealthy supporters. Homes were opened, meals were funded, travel was paid for, communities were sustained. None of that happens without resources. So why does Jesus sound so harsh toward the rich? Why does he say things like, "It is easier for a camel to pass through the eye of a needle than for a rich man to enter the kingdom of God"? That line has been misunderstood for centuries. Some have tried to soften it by inventing myths named the eye of the needle. Clever loopholes that make wealth harmless again. But Jesus wasn't being clever. He was being precise. Jesus consistently targeted what wealth does to the human heart. When it becomes central. In the ancient world, wealth was more than comfort. It was power, insulation, and status. The wealthy could avoid vulnerability. They could control outcomes. They could purchase solutions. That's the danger. Not abundance but insulation from dependence. Jesus didn't praise poverty as holy. He fed the hungry. He healed the sick. He never told people suffering financially that their condition was virtuous. But he also knew something deeply uncomfortable. Wealth makes self-sufficiency tempting. When you can solve problems with money, prayer feels optional. Jesus didn't condemn the rich. He warned them, again and again. He warned that wealth can quietly replace God. Not loudly, not rebelliously, but subtly. That's why he said, "You cannot serve both God and money." Not because money is sinful, but because it competes. Service requires loyalty. Money promises safety. God promises provision. Money promises control. God asks for trust. Those promises collide. And when they do, a choice is forced. This is why Jesus often spoke to the wealthy with discomforting clarity. Not to shame them but to wake them. Some listened. Zacchaeus was wealthy and corrupt. When he encountered Jesus, generosity followed naturally. Not as a command, but as transformation. Others resisted. The rich young ruler wasn't rejected because he had money. He struggled because money had him. Even the disciples were confused. After hearing Jesus' warning, they asked, "Then who can be saved?" That question reveals how deeply wealth was associated with blessing. In their worldview, Jesus responded, "With man this is impossible, but with God, all things are possible." Translation? Wealth doesn't disqualify you, but it doesn't save you either. The Bible praises those who hold resources with open hands. Ready to give, ready to release, ready to obey. That's why the problem isn't having money. The problem is needing money to feel safe, worthy, or complete. Wealth is a tool. Attachment turns it into a master. And Jesus was very clear about one thing. Whatever you serve will eventually own you.